I hope you are feeling great. As a part of this lecture, we'll try to understand working with the complex types. We already know huge amount of data would have different types of data. Like we have already seen the booleans, the numeric values, strings, timestamps. The way we have booleans, we have a numerical data, we have a strings, we have timestamps, all these kinds of data are part of any huge amount of data which we would be analyzing as a part of our project. So don't you think complex type of data would be there? Most of the cases it would be. It is better for us to know how do we deal with the complex data whenever the complex data is a part of data which is being analyzed. Let us see as a part of this lecture how do we do that. Pertaining to the Spark, we have three types of complex types. One is struct, second one is arrays, the third one is maps. We'll try to understand them one by one. When it comes to structs, what is a struct? Struct can be in a simple manner understood as a data frame within data frames. Means you have a set of records or values. Within that there is a table-like structure. Assuming that you have a record, in one cell usually will have a value. In case as a part of the value, if you find one more record itself with some couple of columns, then it is almost like a struct. How do we create a struct? Struct can be created by a wrapping set of columns. Let us say retail data set what we have been using as a part of this section. In that we can pick up a couple of columns like description and invoice and use a function called struct and create the struct complex data type. What would happen is both of these columns would be there as a one value. Now, whenever we create the complex types or whenever we are trying to deal with the complex types, one of the very important ways, how do we access the elements of the data which is there embedded as a part of the complex types. Here, in case of struct, we can go ahead and use a dot notation. For example, a column which has a complex data type and which includes description and also one more column, invoice number. Both of them are a part of this one. Now, if I want to retrieve only the description, I can do that by a dot notation. And also, we can use something called get field to get the description of a particular value within a struct. If you really want to retrieve all the elements of a struct type, you can go ahead with complex.start. Means this is a column which has a struct data type and we'll be able to access all the elements of this. And obviously, we need to provide the name of the data frame and use the select and provide the complex. This is the column in which we have a struct complex data type. Now that we have seen complex data type struct, let us try to understand array. What is an array? We have been seeing array in multiple places now. Array is kind of ubiquitous. Array is part of any programming language like Python or C++, Java, Scala or anywhere. If you really see what is array, array is a complex type with a collection of elements of a same data type. For example, array can be integer or array can be string, only of string type. Array is a collection of elements of same data types. Now, how do we construct an array within Spark? We can use a split function and construct an array. Assuming that we have a column called description that would have some words. Word 1, word 2, word 3. And they are separated by a space. So what we can do is we can use a split function and give the name of the column which has these words and give a delimiter by which these words are separated and then try to create an array. After creating an array, what you can do is you can go ahead and access the elements of an array by using array column, and the first element would be 0, second element would be 1, like that. Access the elements by using a array underscore column, and then by specifying the place at which the element is present. And also we have a couple of other functions related to the array. One is array length and array contents. What is array length doing? What is the number of elements in that particular array? It's an array length. So now how do we find out that? By using a size function. Now size, this is in a way getting converted into an array. By using a size function, we can get the what is the size or how many number of elements are there in that particular array. The second would be we can use a array contains function to check whether array contains the string which we are trying to search for. The way we can do it is, this is the name of the data frame, and use select and use a function called array contains. So then this is an array, and I want to check this particular array has a string called white or not. This is how we'll be able to use the array contains function. Next function is explode. What is explode function doing? Assuming that a particular column has a different array. This is an array. Here, this is a team member. One is David, Monica, and Raju. The manager is Stephen. If I explode this particular column, the way it happens is each of the elements of an array would become one separate row. So here we'll have Stephen, and we'll have David, we'll have a Monica, and we'll have Raju. Explode function takes the column that consists of an arrays and creates one row for each of the values in an array. Very, very simple. All we have to do is import this particular function called explode. If you have seen, or if you are part of our Hadoop classes, you would have already gone through MapReduce. What is MapReduce? MapReduce is a programming model for distributed processing, where it takes the input as a key value pairs and produces the output as a key value pairs. Map is more or less is a key value pair across the different platforms. Here also, let us try to understand how do we handle the maps. First and foremost thing is, maps are created by create map function that creates the key value pairs. So how do we create the key value pairs? What we can do is, we can use create map function and provide two columns which you want to make them as a key value pairs. Here in this case, one of the column is a description column, the second one is a invoice column. Whichever the column which is provided as a first column, that would be key, and the second column would be value. Depending upon what is your project requirement, you can make a particular column as a key and another column as a value. We have created the map. How do we access the elements of a map? That is always a question, right? So the way we have accessed the elements of an array, the way we have accessed the elements of a struct, in the same way we have to access the elements of a map also. We can access the elements of a map by using a key. Map is a key value pair, right? We usually create the map to see if we can have the key value pairs, so we can provide the key and access the values. So here if you see, this is a name of the map column, and then this is a key. So when we run this query, what will happen is we'll get a value corresponding to this. This is how we can access the value by querying a key. Thank you.